every Sunday at 12 noon on TV 33. That's an 88.1 station Durham and Comcast cable. So why don't you call and let's discuss the Holy Bible, that one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scripture and the true Jesus. So tune in to a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man every Sunday at 12 noon, right here on TV 33, FM 88.1 WHBR and Comcast cable. You can call in live on the air at area code 866-4336, 866-0312, and 868-0351. Of course, the area code 313. That's 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351. And now let's go live to scriptural discussion.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you who have the desire to be righteous. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. We we have quite a bit we want to share, but before we do that, we want to give those who have doubts or questions about something that they have already heard us say. If you have something you want to ask me about something that I have taught, or that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad have taught, who actually prepared the way for me, you are invited to unmute your phone and tell me what it, or ask me whatever it is you want to ask me, so that I can have your undivided attention when I start teaching. We are not up here just to be seen and heard. We are here to try to pull as many of you out of a doomed world as we can. If you allow us to, we will. You know, may wa alaikum Allah salam.
I mean, is it possible for people to have different personalities?
It's possible that's why I tell you all to pray to stay in your right mind. An unstable mind will identify itself by many different personalities, where you won't know what to expect from somebody. So this world is filled with that time, especially in America. You know, you got people that they have multiple frames of mind. That's all a personality is a frame of mind. And an unstable mind is like an unstable horse. You might see him over here. Next thing you look up, he over there. Next thing you look up, he over somewhere else. That's why you build stables to put your horse in. And a stable mind is a mind that is rooted in truth and has a purpose. Every morning I get up, I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm not trying to figure out what I'm going to do. When I lay down, my mind is focused on where I'm at, what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm about. And thanks to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, my mind been that way since I was 22 years old. And if you doubt it, you go and look at my history and you will find that I've been doing this, what I'm doing now, for the past 40-something years. If the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was still here, I'd still be following him. I wouldn't be standing up here telling you I'm the Son of Man. As the Jesus said, he said, it's expedient for you that I go away, for if I don't go away, the Comforter will not come. You know, when you get satisfied, I mean truly satisfied, you're at peace. You don't want nothing else. You don't want to be nowhere else. And that's the way I was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I was satisfied being a follower, period. I was at peace. And, I didn't want to be in charge of nobody. And so, as long as he was there, I'm the last one he was worried about losing. And so, other people, they may have talked that talk. But if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had told me to jump out of an airplane without a parachute, I'd have did it. All he had to do was tell me, you do this, and ain't nothing going to happen to you. Don't worry about it. Jump. I'd have jumped. So, that's just the way it was with me. Even now, you notice I don't go contradicting his teachings. Even when he taught a thing that was something contrary to what I understand and know, it still wasn't wrong what he taught. It was just not the best understanding of it. Do you understand? And so he knew that I would be here after him. He said, after me, ain't nobody coming but God. Ain't nobody coming behind me but God. I better tell you that. Why? Because that's the only one who could come behind him and share anything with you that was worth anything. The others, he said, they coming to destroy you for not listening to what I'm teaching. That's what he told you. I'm going to show you a good example of that. But, I was talking to one of my followers today, and she was, she brought some things to my attention that sparked a few thoughts in my mind that I need to teach on what rejection is. Many people don't understand that, it's just like if I offer you something, here's a good example. See this book here? This is volume 1 of the divine sayings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And if I say here, this is the divine sayings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or just present it to you. If you can read, you may say, the divine sayings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I try to give it to you and say, I don't want that. Well, that's what rejection is. But if I offer you, let's see here. I know. Let's see. Let me find one. I know I got an envelope around there somewhere. Is there? Now, his envelope. Here. First thing out your mind, out your mouth is, what is that? Right? Most people got sense enough to ask what you give them before they take it. Most people. I mean, some people ain't got sense enough to say, want to know what it is before they take it. They if you hand it to them fast enough, they'll take it first, and they say, now what is this? No. The intelligent thing is that's what is that? What is it? How many of y'all saw Iron Man? Whenever you tried to hand him something, he said, I don't like people handing me things. And his secretary took it and looked at it and then gave it to him. Well, it's just like with me. You couldn't have rejected me if I hadn't came to you and told you that I'm the Son of Man and began teaching you and showing you in the scripture about my coming. You see, the book said, first must he suffer many things. That's where my afflictions come in at. I had to experience many things, be afflicted with everything that as a man, I had to be afflicted with things that most men, matter of fact, all my people was afflicted with. As a father, as a husband, as everything. So I'm an experienced man. Now, I also had to experience everything in the way of rejection that the prophets had experienced. You see? All of the, all of the, as the book says, Son of Man, sit on my right hand till I do what? The earth is my footstool. And a man's enemies shall be they that belong to him. They of his own household. Huh? And so now the whole earth is in wickedness. And Allah made me a representative to teach righteousness. And every time you come in here, you find me teaching you from the instruction in righteousness called Holy Scriptures. Is that right? And Allah told me, he said, now don't be afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks. Because thou dwellest, though thou briars be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions. Huh? He said, for they are a rebellious house. And he said, now, don't you be like them. Be not thou rebellious, like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that which I give you. Recite my words. Why do you eat? You eat because your body needs nourishment. And you need the nutrients that's in that food to help either maintain your body, if it is matured and is not any longer growing, You either need it for growth and development, or you need it to maintain that growth and development that it has accrued. Is that right? So you eat so that you can remain in the state that you are in of a healthy, viable human being. Is that right? Allah said, we shall make you recite so that you shall not forget. Remembrance of Allah is the greatest force. Well, forgetfulness of Allah is the greatest injury. Do you understand? It is the greatest weakness is to forget the truth. And so Allah, He helps me to remember from the time I was a little boy. I've been reciting scriptures. So I know now why I had the childhood I had and all of that, you know, when I was forced to do and go. And but I know now. So as I was telling the believer, I said, people can't be accused of rejecting that which they didn't have no knowledge of. When a person rejects a thing, it is after they know what the thing is. You know, then they can either reject it or accept it. That's why it's so important that when I stand up before you, that I tell you and remind you that I'm the Son of Man. And show you in the scripture that, you know, before you even get started talking about you ain't the Son of Man or Jesus is this and that, the scripture already said, don't no man know who the Son is but the Father. So that take your argument right away to show you that you never knew who the Son of Man is, because you've been had a picture of a white man walking around here, and it ain't even the same white man, and you got him up in your church talking about that's Jesus. Which only bears witness that you ain't thinking about no Jesus. That's just another Santa Claus teaching. You can see any white man or a black one in a red suit and a beard and all that stuff, and you say, there's Santa. Anybody can be Santa. Why? Because Santa don't exist. That's why they in the Matrix, Cypher, when Neo came up behind him and he didn't know he was there, and Cypher turned around and said, "Woo, you scared to be Jesus out of me? Do you want to be Jesus? Well, yeah, here's a wig and here's a beard. Here, come here and let me fix you up and I'll take you some pictures. Do you want to be Jesus? Why? Because everybody know that that's a lie. So anybody can be Jesus. The one that they've been telling you about. You know, the one that supposedly died and floated up to this heaven up here. Huh? And you got the Hubble telescope and all that, and you ain't seen no heaven up there yet. With God sitting on the great white throne? Huh? So you all just been lied to. And you notice the way that I talk, it offends a lot of people. Then how come they don't come in here? If I'm lying, how come they don't come in here and straighten it out? Now, don't tell me they don't know when you lie. If somebody knows the truth about any situation, they know when somebody lying about it. Look like I'm the only one that know the truth. Huh? No man knows the Father but the Son either. And he to whom the Son will reveal him. Well, ain't that written? Now, if I'm not the Son, why am I the only one that know the Father? If I hadn't told you that the truth is the Father, you wouldn't have known. I and my Father are one. Say he, Allah, is one. Yeah. So now the book is being fulfilled, and because this generation, it's not going to pass until everything is fulfilled. I know you think it's going to always be wicked people. It's going to always, no, it ain't. When the wicked spring forth as the grass and the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. You see it happening now. I warned you about them guns. Now, every time you look up, you done harmed everybody, now they're going crazy. I told you crazy and gun don't go together. I told you was going to be killing your own people with them. I told you what this solution is. I mean, there's a compromise you could have made. You could say, okay, you can have all the guns you want, but you can't come to no city with guns. When you come into the city, you come unarmed. The only ones that need guns in the city is the police. And the only ones you expect to have guns in the city is the police and the criminals. That way, when he rolled up, if you got a gun, he ain't got to wonder if you a good man. Because if you was a good man, you wouldn't have came in there with that gun. Huh? Now, you can have all the guns you want at your house. But when you go out on the streets, that's why we pay police officers to patrol the streets. You leave your gun at home. Unless you're going hunting. If you're going hunting, go on hunting. As long as you hunting deer or you hunting rabbits or you hunting creatures other than man. See, I could have been done told you how to deal with that. I did tell you. You just didn't listen. Just like you normally won't do. That nigga can't tell me nothing. Wait until you find out for sure that I'm not your nigga. Oh, eventually everybody gonna know who I am. Don't you worry. But in that day, believing ain't gonna help you. If you didn't believe it before, you're gonna be just like the people in Noah's day. Everybody believed Noah when it started raining. And they started drowning. But that didn't help them. They still had to drown. So, all you arrogant proud people. So now let me tell you something about them. 144,000. I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as he was talking about that subject. He didn't talk about it much, but he did say we would like to beat the old prophet's prediction of 144,000. He said, but you just can't make the prophets liars. What they said, that's just it. Huh? And so that left everybody thinking that he was talking about 144,000 of us. But he wasn't talking about 144,000 of us. He was talking about 144,000 of the angels, the messengers. As you find of this tribe, of the tribe of Benjamin, of the tribe, but it's over there in Revelation. It said 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes. That was 144,000. And the minds of, we had always passed our knowledge from teacher to student. We said father to son. And that had been going on for trillions of years, you see. And every 50,000 years, that was a period where two had ruled. Just two. As in 1, 2. Yeah. And then 50,000 more years, two more than had they changed. So every 300,000 years, we went through 12 rulers. Do you understand? I'm just doing the math. And so it took a while to get to 144,000. So, and even that wind up in billions and not trillions. So we had to build a whole lot of things back up. We didn't always have 12. When it came time for Noah's flood, we didn't have no 12 rulers. We had one. And he tried to get everybody to do what he wanted done, and they wouldn't do it. He said, well, I'm going to destroy us all. And he drilled in the earth. And now we know that Noah found grace. He told Noah what he was finna do. And so, obviously. And when he blew up the earth, that part called moon used to be here. And it had an ocean on it. And it went out so far. Then it turned over, and all the water that was on that part fell back to this part. And drowned everybody that was in that part of the world. If you notice, when they came to North America here, they found people here, but it was no civilization here. They had not, the Native Americans, they didn't originate here. They were exiled from India approximately 16,000 years ago. So this was considered the worst part of the planet. Nobody was interested in coming here. So, but anyway, we didn't have as many people on earth at that time. There was no white people. There was no yellow people. There was no brown people. The only people on earth was black people. And so we had, we had to, after that, I was after that exercise with the moon. I can understand why we got together and said, "Look, let's break this thing up." That's too much power for one to be exercising. Let's agree to take turns. And so they eventually they formed a council, and that's what that. But now we found out that don't work either. So we realized, one of our scientists realized that to make unlimited progress, we need one head. And he knew that hidden inside of us was a supreme being that would be benignant, merciful, generous, and quick to forgive, slow to anger. And so he went to work, told him he could do that. He could make a people first that nothing could defeat, and then from that, we would produce one. So the people that nothing could defeat, they here now. I mean, you don't say white people when they defeat another white man. You don't say, well, see, he wasn't something that. Well, it was a white man that defeated him. But who got more power on the earth as far as fighting and making war? Why you think the book says those who worship the beast in his image, they said, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Huh? Well, the only one that can make war with him is his maker. And that ain't no war. Because we can just think it and speak it, and he's gone. A war means somebody can win and somebody can lose. If can't nobody, if only one side can win, that ain't no war. So we offering you a chance. I mean, it's not like we at somebody's mercy around here. I'm not at your mercy. You at my mercy. You don't have to believe it. You gonna believe it later. So, I'm offering salvation to everybody, offering the truth to you to help you change your character. Because everybody that's got the wrong character is gonna be gone pretty soon. No, we ain't gonna have no wicked people on the earth. I know you don't believe it, even though you see y'all killing yourselves now. Yeah. Allah said he would give you your own blood to drink. So the 144,000 is the messengers and the lords of the earth. I'll put it like that. And so the teachings of only one Lord, one faith, one baptism, that's new. Because all through the history of us, everywhere on the earth, you saw people like the Native American. He believed in a great spirit, but he believed in the spirit of the water and the spirit of he had all them gods too. And the Hindu got more gods than you can shake a stick at. And, even the Christians, the way they teach it, talking about God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. And they done broke the God, as they say, they call it the Godhead, the Trinity. They don't know what they're talking about. You know, and when they ain't even had to, you know, they read the book, but they don't understand what they're reading. Their parable is that of a jackass carrying books. You see? Because I'm the only literate man that God made on the earth. I'm the only one. He it is who raised among the illiterates a messenger, who recites to them the messages and teaches them the book and the wisdom. You see? God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. You're talking about the same one. The truth is the Father, the truth is the Son, the light, and the truth is the Holy Spirit. The truth is the mind that guides you into holiness. You see? Just like my name, Marvin Ahmed Muhammad. Same thing. Those three is me. You got a first, middle, and last name, don't you? Is that three? Or is it talking about one person? All right, then. See how simple that is? But if I wasn't here, it wouldn't have been simple. You'd still been arguing about it. Ain't nobody arguing about it no more. Huh? I was told that Geno Jennings slipped in the Fed. Is that right? He slipped in and slipped out of here. Well, you know, they I'm pretty sure somebody probably told him everything that we've been doing here. So he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth and stealing your money. If you want the truth about it, he been robbing you. What? If somebody robbed you and you don't know you've been robbed, do that mean you wasn't robbed? People been robbing you in the name of the Lord all your life. Somebody, God sent them. Pastor. He's the pastor. Ain't no wonder it's a famine going on. You didn't even know what the word pastor came from. You see? Where do you put your cattle and your sheep to go graze at? In the pasture, huh? Because of what? It's got plenty to eat in there, huh? Well, a pastor is supposed to have plenty of the word of God to feed you. But he ain't been feeding you God's word. He's been feeding you his own. And he go and make up his sermon, and then he write it out, and then he get up there and open the Bible and lay his paper down in there and start preaching, filling you with himself. They can be mad at me. I don't care. Get mad. Yeah, you holding our people in poverty, holding our people in ignorance. What do I care about you getting mad because I'm trying to wake them up? And the only reason I use the word trying is because half of them won't listen. You're going to be sorry you didn't listen to me. Anyway, I'm going to show you a good example here. But first, I want to get to this, you know, with all of these instant replays and recording devices and stuff, what you think these things is for? They are for spot-on depositions. Watch this.
I didn't know what happened.
Bombshell reporting from the Wall Street Journal.
When it comes time for the financing, which will be less financing.
Tonight, the new report that the President of the United States himself directed a criminal conspiracy to help get himself elected.
We'll have to make it so. No. I got no shit.
Then,
I can tell you, Matt Whitaker's a great guy. I mean, I know Matt Whitaker.
the president caught pretending he doesn't know the man he appointed to oversee the Mueller probe.
I know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker, I don't know Matt Whitaker.
And the growing bipartisan fears over what Matt Whitaker is up to.
You remember I told you that these people that's supporting Donald Trump, they're not deceived. They know he's lying. And what kind of people support liars? Now, let's go to the book of Revelation. You better not come in here and say nothing insulting to me. Now, unmute your phone and do it. I know what to do for you. And don't you cut him off. You let him unmute his phone. And up there jaw jacking at somebody. Oh, come on in here and jaw jack at me. I'll break you up. Yes.
But can you replay that to the court? The internet here start acting up while you send that little small clip of video.
Say the internet start acting up.
Yes, sir, it did. It didn't come across the air clear.
Okay, just a moment. All right.
Wall Street Journal.
When it comes time for the financing, which will be less financing.
Tonight, the new report that the President of the United States himself directed a criminal conspiracy to help get himself elected.
We'll have to make it so. No. I got no shit.
Then,
I can tell you, Matt Whitaker's a great guy. I mean, I know Matt Whitaker.
the president caught pretending he doesn't know the man he appointed to oversee the Mueller probe.
I know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker, I don't know Matt Whitaker.
And the growing bipartisan fears over what Matt Whitaker is up to.
What a stupid question.
All that.
Yep. Now, what kind of people support liars? Say it loud.
Other liars.
Other liars. Could you imagine if President Obama had got caught in some lies like that? What would them people be saying? Impeach that nigga. Is that right? Yeah. All you double-tongued, double-standard people out there. You finna get what you got coming. I remember one of them told me, we got a surprise for you. I got a surprise for you. You done seen some of them surprises I got for you. Huh? You heard Hurricane Michael? You saw him shoot his head at that and made a quick turn and swoop through that. Huh? It's more where that came from. Wasn't nothing but to win. Wasn't nothing but to win. Huh? Now, how you going to fight that? A minigun can't shoot that one. Let's see how tough you are after a while. When you gonna? They used to have a saying, a hard head make a soft behind. Your behind gonna be like butter before Allah get through with you. You watch what I tell you. But I want you to see this here. This is in the book of Revelation. So let's get to it. And let's see here. It says, here it is. Now, this is a very important chapter here. And I want you to now go to the 22nd chapter of the book of Revelation. Now, listen good. Now, this is where we at now. We fast entering into this prophecy here. It says, I'm going to start at the first verse. It says, and he showed me a pure river of water. Huh? They'll be given to drink of a pure cup, sealed with camphor. Well, let's find that in the Holy Quran. I like to. I like to show you the harmony of the Holy Scriptures. Let's see here. This is this is just a minute. Let me see which one I want to use.
83, 26.
Chapter 83 of the Holy Quran. And stay in Revelation of the Holy Bible now to chapter 22. But this is chapter 83. And you know what it says? Default in duty. What is a default in duty? A failure to keep your duty. What is the duty of man? What is the duty, the whole duty of man? Well, what is a default in duty? And what we have here is no longer a failure to communicate. You understand it now, aren't you? Then you can be held accountable now that you understand. Is that right? If I had not come and spoken unto him, Son of man, give him warning from me. For if thou give him not warning, then he shall die in his iniquity, but it's going to be your fault. But if thou warn the wicked, then thou hast delivered thy soul. By trying to save you, I'm saving me. I can't think of no greater inspiration to do it than that, other than my love for Allah and his word. He already knows that I don't put my life above his word. Even the devil know that. You heard the devil say, I know you give your life for that. He know when somebody faking. What you think you gonna deceive the arch deceiver? So, default in duty. That's the name of the chapter. Now, it says, in the 21st, this is the 20th verse. It is written. Oh, pardon me. let's don't go there. Let's go to the well, that's just talking about the record of people. But let's go to the 22nd verse, the 21st verse. It says, well, I'm gonna have to go there. It's gonna take a little while, so I'm gonna have to go back to it. It says, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. We at verse 1. I can't get around it. I need to take you to the whole thing. It says, woe to who? The cheaters. All right. Sound like a whole lot of politicians got some trouble coming. Huh? And a whole lot of people who supporting them. Woe to the cheaters who, when they take the measure of their dues from men, they take it fully. And when they measure out to others or weigh out for them, they give less than is due. How long we been paying for them T1 lines? We got 4 of them, don't we? Have they ever gave us 6 up and 6 down like it was supposed to? See? But they still charging us $1,500 a month. Y'all gonna pay for this. I want you to know. It's just like when they took that money out of our account. I told the man, that's our property tax money. Can't we pay you? Then you try to get them to let us pay them $5,000 a month. Now we got to have it now. The hell with your property. That's as good as saying that. We had about 17,000 in there, didn't we? And you remember you tried to get me to just let them take that? I said, no, brother. Put 3 more thousand in there and let them take it all. Then the bottom fell out of the Wall Street. All them banks start failing and all that kind of stuff. To this day, they didn't know what happened. Everything you do to me, you're going to get it back, boy. We just a baby nation, but we are a nation. And if you couldn't help us, you should have just left us alone. I've never declared war on America. I've never disrespected your flag. And neither have any of my followers. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad never disrespected you either. When he could have went and got help from Russia, he said, I will not. He said, I could get into Russia today. He said, but I respect the American government and I will not go to their enemies seeking help. Here you got a man sitting up in the Oval Office that went to Russia to help him to get in there. And told you to kiss his behind. No, you're going to pay for everything you do against me. And it's still going to fail. Here this man standing up. Let me show you what a hypocrite he is. A hypocrite, all of them is. Here, they up in, what's that young man's name that the football player that took a knee? Kaepernick. Remember, what's his full name? Huh? Colin Kaepernick. He gets called SOB for protesting black people getting shot down, unarmed black people getting shot down by police officers. Unarmed black people getting shot down by other white citizens claiming that they were in fear of their life. So they stood their ground. Huh? And you let it happen, and you let it keep happening. Colin Kaepernick didn't say, let's go get some guns and go start killing white people. He just got out there on the football gridiron and took a knee and told you that when you play in the Star Spangled Banner, that the home of the brave, is it a brave act to shoot an unarmed man and you the only one got a gun? Is that brave? No, that's a cowardly act. So then you get this skinhead president, this avowed white nationalist. He telling people he's a nationalist now. That's what he's saying. He was that before he told you. Yes, sir. Now he get up and he calls them black men SOBs, and that you ought to fire them SOBs and do all that because they disrespecting the flag of the United States. And he's supporting people that flies a rebel flag that had declared war on the United States. And if they had had their way, there wouldn't be no stars and stripes flying over a country called United States, and there would not be an office of president of the United States because the states would be sovereign countries in the continent of America, like them people over there on the continent of Africa. The Confederacy declared war on the Stars and Stripes. The reason the Union Army was called the Union Army is because they were fighting to hold the United States together. And the Confederacy was fighting to break it apart. and you call a man who take a knee during the national anthem a SOB, but you unite yourself with people who, if they'd had their way, wouldn't have been no United States. And they still flying that flag. Now you tell me which is more disrespectful. It's not against the law to take a knee during the national anthem. It's not a law say you got to stand. But it is a law against treason. Yes, sir. It is a law against taking a position in the government and trying to overthrow the government from within the government. That's called treason. And it's a whole lot of treason going on. And the American people, they waking up. They're going to get you after a while. Keep on. These people rose up against, look, let me tell you something. You may think that you're going to become a dictator over these people that's in this country. This country came into existence throwing off the yoke of a dictator. You living in a dream world thinking that you can rule white people by dictating. If you don't give them some reason, if you don't show them some reason, matter of fact, you can't rule nobody in America just dictating to them. This country got more rebels than Carter got liver pills. Parents can't even hardly dictate to their children. Well, it's the truth. Let me tell you something. If you didn't learn nothing else from slavery, you ought to have learned this. Once a person done tasted freedom, they never will accept slavery. Yeah, that's the one thing them Jews said that all white people will kind of relate to. And they said, we be Abraham's seed and we were never in bondage to any man. What is that? What is that to say? No, buddy, that ain't gonna work. See, I'm not here to try to force anybody to do things my way. I'm here to appeal to your sense of reason, that it is in your best interest to do things the right way. If you don't do things the right way, these vessels that you call your body, you didn't design them. But the one who designed them to self-destruct when they don't do things the right way. That way he ain't got to stay around and watch you. Do you understand? We ain't got to stand over you and watch you and police you. Your own makeup, the makeup of these bodies, will make you destroy yourself if you don't do things the way that the designer instructed you. So now you suit yourself, boy. But let's read on. Do they not think that they will be raised again? What do you mean, do they not think that they'll be raised again? It means, people think oftentimes they know right because somebody taught them right. They raised their level of consciousness to the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. And even though they know right, they choose to do wrong. When you owe them, they hound you and hound you and hound you. And when they owe you, you can't find them. Huh? Do they not think that they will be raised again to a mighty day? What's another word for mighty? Come on. You know the scriptures. What? Great. As in great and dreadful day. Do they not think that they will be raised again to a mighty day? The day when men will stand before the Lord of the worlds? Who is this Lord of the worlds? They say, I don't believe in no Holy Quran. Well, let's see here. Let's go back over here to the Holy Bible. You believe in that, don't you? Donald Trump even said he believed in that with his lying self. You know he don't believe in it because do he treat others like he want to be treated? So, look now. This is Hebrews. I'm going to go to the first chapter and we're going to start reading at the first verse. It says, God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in times in the past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his what? And I am his son. Should have spelled son S-U-N though. It says, whom he hath appointed. I'm going to create a mortal of sounding clay, of black mud fashioned into shape. So when I have made him complete and breathed into him of my spirit, humble yourself and submit to him. That's an appointment. If I'm going to do something, he's making an appointment there. As it says, whom he hath appointed heir, inheritor of all things, by whom also he made what? We created the heaven and the earth with truth. Then the truth made all the worlds. And the truth is the word, ain't it? And the word was made flesh and is now dwelling among you, by whom he made the worlds. The Lord of the what? The Lord of the worlds. Men have to stand before who? The day when men will stand before the Lord of the worlds. Oh well, let's go a little bit further, brother. Let's see here. I like to teach you. Let's say it says in 2 Corinthians, no, in Romans. I'm gonna go to the Romans, the first chapter. And let's cut to the chase. The 9th verse. It says, for God is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit in the gospel of his Son, that without ceasing I make mention of you always in my prayers, making request, if by any means now at length I might have, let me make sure that, no, wrong chapter. Go to the 14th chapter. I see a 1 and then I mess around there and go to Romans, the 14th chapter. That ain't the one I wanted. It says, the 9th verse. Well, let's go to the 8th, the 7th verse. It says, for none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. For whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live, therefore, or die, we are the Lord's. In other words, the earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. And if it's mine, I do what I please with what belongs to me. Now what? And then it says, now, I know you don't like that, but your head said that. The head of every man is Christ. The messengers of God told you this. Now, didn't they? What do all whippings start with? Didn't I tell you? All right. Then it says, for to this end Christ both died and rose and revived, that he might be Lord both of the dead and the living. But why dost thou judge thy brother? How many times I done told you all, don't be trying to judge each other. Didn't I tell you that? Did you stop? Yeah, I know. You got to get quiet on that, don't you? Yeah, okay. But I did warn you, didn't I? Okay. But why dost thou judge thy brother? Or why dost thou set at naught thy brother? Figure out ways to try to hinder each other's progress. Why you do that? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ. The day when men stand before the Lord of the world. See how both books agree on that? Okay, now let's get back over here and read some more in the Holy Quran. Nay, surely the record of the wicked is in the prison. And what will make thee know what the prison is? It's a written book. Why is it called a prison? A prison ain't a prison if it ain't locked up. Seal up the book. The record of the wicked is sealed up in the book, in prison. I have the keys of hell and of death. Nobody got the key to the prison but the warden. Huh? We have made none but angels wardens of the fire. Well, who all the angels submit to? You got guards in the prison, but who do the guards submit to? They do what the warden tells them. Is that right? All right. The Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath day. You in the Sabbath day now. Now, if I'm not the Lord, come in here and tell me why not. They said, why he keep on trying to get People, yeah, just look at him. Why he keep on the book told you that the only way you're going to be saved is you have to believe in me. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten S-U-N, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And he that believeth not on the Son is condemned already. Just like the man asked me, well, if am I going to be put in hell if I don't believe in you? I say, that's already a pre-drawn conclusion. No sense in getting all indignant about it. I'm the only way out of hell for you. And before he could start insulting me, Allah tightened that head up. That's your warning. You're not going to come in here and disrespect me no more and get by with it. You know too much. I done spoke too much to you. You have no excuse no more. And you will not be excused. So it says, woe on that day to who? To the rejectors. Turn to the 17th chapter of Luke. In the 22nd verse, Jesus said unto the disciples, the days will come when you shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, one of the days of the Sabbath day, and you shall not see it. Why? Because it's 2,000 years away. Then he said, and they shall say to you, see here or see there. He said, go not after them, nor follow them. For it's the lightning that lighteneth out of the one part under heaven, shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in his day. But first must he suffer many things and be what? Rejected. By who? By this generation. Woe on that day. To who? To the rejectors. All right, you in that day now. Pretty soon it's going to be so clear who rejected me. They're going to be sick and dying. Now, I'm just telling you. You're not going to get away with it. I am your salvation. You hear any preachers contradicting me on that? You hear any imams contradicting me on that? What about cardinals and bishops? What about rabbis? What about the Pope? Running around here claiming to be God's representative on earth. Not no more, y'all not. Was there ever? Yes. He was given dominion to rule as God for 6,000 years. It was ordained. And that's what he, as the book teaches you, as it is appointed once unto men to die. Why? Because Adam was given dominion, and Adam is the man of sin. Adam is the devil. And he was given 6,000 years to do his work. But the Sabbath day, he was told, stop. But that day is a holy day unto the Lord, and in it thou shalt do no work. Why you think now? Why didn't you see people from World War I coming back here with crazy minds? World War II, same thing. But Vietnam, that's when post-traumatic stress syndrome started happening. Why? Because the 60 years of grace ran out in 74. Now, thou shalt not kill is the law. You notice the man went in there and killed 12 people. Then who did he kill? As thou hast done, so shall it be done unto you. What that mean? Allah don't need nobody to. Does man think nobody sees him? Or no one hears him? Has he not eyes? Has he not ears? Man is sufficient as a witness against who? He's judge, jury, and executioner of himself. We show you. You think you in charge? You're not in charge of nothing. How in the world are you going to have charge of anything and can't even control yourself? Here, you done made guns, and yet you don't have sense enough where you used to know how to control them. Now, the things you made is out of your control. Even the drugs that you used to make and put where you wanted them to be, now they done found their way back to you, and they're out of your control. Everything that you did to try to destroy me and my people, now it's destroying you and yours. And the stupid ones among my people who still want to follow you. I'm not begging you to hear me. Soon you'll be begging me to talk to you. So it's written. Woe on that day to the rejectors who give the lie to the day of judgment. If I'm not the Son of Man, you saying this ain't the Sabbath day and we ain't got to worry about it. Oh, no? See they not that we are visiting the land, curtailing it of its sides? I warned you a long time ago that the Pacific Ocean was not going to be Pacific anymore. Now you see hurricanes rising up off of the Pacific, hitting the western shores. Huh? Yeah. You know where the Pacific Ocean got its name from? It got its name from being peaceful. Peaceful done got on the bus and left. That's what happened when you add more water to the water table. And it's more being added now while I'm talking. So it says, and none gives the lie to the day of judgment, but every exceeder of limits, every sinful one. When our messages are recited to him, he says, it's stories of those of yore. I remember I heard some Negro coming in here talking about the Bible is plagiarized from old Egyptian writings. What a fool. And it says, nay, rather, what they earn is rust upon their hearts. You know what that means? What happened when you got something that's supposed to be moving, and it rusts up? It seizes up, doesn't it? In other words, their mind has become dysfunctional. It does not continue to grow. It's like a rusty part, a thing with moving parts that have rusted, and now it can't grow, can't move. Do you understand? Can't change. They ain't got but one gear. Now, how would you like to be in a car that don't change gear? Yeah. He said something wrong with this thing, right? You need some gear. You need that thing to change, don't you? Yeah, I know you do. It says, nay, surely they are that day debarred from their Lord. They're held back by their rebellious mind. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yeah, 7 are an abomination of them. What's the first thing? And then what? A lying tongue. Huh? And you know people who love lies, they don't want to come in here with me. They can't come in here with me. They are debarred from coming in here with me. Especially since I done started throwing them in hell. Oh, don't think it ain't real. If it wasn't real, they'd keep on doing what they have been doing. How come they don't say, well, do it to me? I bet you once I do it to him, he wish he hadn't asked me to do it to him. How I know that happened to him? Because I read it in Allah's word. He said, cast into hell every ungrateful, rebellious one. That's talking to me. Because I'm the judge. Then it says, then they will surely enter burning fire. Wickedness burneth as the fire. In other words, they will enter into evil and wicked behavior, and they will just get worse and worse and worse. It's like one of the believers was telling me about some of these people that they on drugs, and they get so bad on them, and then they go up to Minnesota, and they got places in Minnesota that helps you get off of drugs. And then they go there and get off of them, and then come back and get back on them. And I told him, I said, that's written. It says every time Allah burns them, he said he will give them new skins and burn them all over again. And they would just keep on doing it until they die, till they pass away. Because even cleaning them up deceives them. And they say, well, I'll just cool out again, and then I'll be all right, and then I can come back and do it some more. It's like the man who said his son keeps falling in the fire and in the water, in the fire and in the water. And it's in the Bible. Well, that's a fool. That's a fool. And so a fool gets what he hastens to the corrections of the stock. Like the man who gets drunk and gets beaten and all tore up. And then when he sober up, he said, I will go and do it all again. And that's in Proverbs. I paraphrase, but that's what it is. See, ain't nothing happening that ain't predicted. You ain't doing nothing that Allah didn't foreknow and give me sight on what to think about it and what it's about. You see, we walk by faith, not by sight. You see, I trust in Allah's words. I trust in Allah's judgment. When I look at you, I don't look at you with my eyes. I look at you through the eyes of Allah in his word. He explains you to me. And then that way I know I ain't making no mistake. And when I tell you what I see, if you smart, if it's against you, you won't argue with me. You'll change. Because I'm not going to hear no argument. I tell you what I see wrong with you so that you can get it straight. If you ain't got sense enough to get it straight, well, then that tells me that you lying when you said you my follower. Nay, it says, let me make sure that I turned to page too soon. I think I did. Yeah, they enter the burning fire. Then it will be said, this is what you gave the lie to. This is what you called a lie. You said it wasn't going to happen to you. You remember the people used to come in here and talk crazy? What happened to them? They met with the punishment that I told them they was going to meet with. Then it said, nay, surely the record of the righteous is in the highest places. And what will make thee know what the highest places are? It is a written book. Do you know where the highest place is? It's the word of God. The Most High. Everything that the wicked doing is in their books. And they even say, book him. When they book you, what they're doing? They're writing down something that you did that they got in their book that's a crime. Is that right? Yeah. It says, those drawn near to Allah, they witness it. Then bear witness. Huh? And I too am of the bearers of witness with you. Is it? Surely the righteous are in bliss, perfect peace, bliss, on raised couches, gazing. Thou recognizes in their faces the brightness of bliss. They are given to drink of what kind of cup? They are given to drink of a pure drink, sealed. The sealing of it is with musk. And for that, let the aspirers aspire. Musk is that which comes up from under, as I seem to remember, it comes from up under the glands of deers and little humble creatures like that. Yeah. And so now go to the 22nd chapter of Revelation. And it says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life. What did Jesus say would happen from the one who believed in him? Which it wasn't him talking, it was God speaking through him. He that believeth on me, out of his belly shall flow what? Rivers of living water. So it's written. And he showed me a pure river of water of the word of God, of life. It's pure coming from me. And he said, clear as crystal. You know it's clear. Don't nobody never stop me and say, hey, wait a minute. What you meant by that? Because I make it all clear, don't I? Yeah. proceeding out of the throne of God. The heaven is God's throne. The truth is God. Where is the throne of the truth? It is the brain. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of the man who was fashioned to be the Son of Man, the brain of the Son of Man. Then shall he sit there. And it's proceeding the river of pure life. In him was life, and the life was the what? The light of understanding of the prophets. And it says, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. Then it says, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, there was the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with what? And each one of these pages is a leaf in the book, a leaf of the tree. And it's rightly called leaves. You'll notice those leaves that you see on the tree. You know why we call them leaves? Because eventually they leave the tree and fall to the earth to replenish it. Is that right? Yes. These books, these are the leaves that fell from the teachings of the messengers of God, from the family tree of life, which is all of the messengers collectively. They are the family tree of life because they brought the word of God. Do you understand? And these are the leaves off of that tree. Do you understand? Yes. And it's healing the nations in my mouth. You know, it's just like they make it against the law for you to get caught with dispensing prescription drugs and you are not licensed to do so. Because the same way that drug that you are dispensing can heal people, it can harm people when they abuse it. Do you understand? So likewise, I'm the only one that Allah told to take the book and eat it, and you go speak to them with my words. Ain't but one son, his only begotten son. There's a whole lot of begotten sons on this planet, but I'm the only begotten one that is the light or son of God. Do you understand? Okay. Then it says, and there shall be no more curse. Now you see why I had to offer salvation to white people. Because we the one put that curse on them. Wasn't his fault he was the devil. We made him that. And he even complained about it at first. He pulled his Lord's coat. He said, hey, since you have judged me to be Aaron, you know I'm going to make evil fast seeming to the people on earth and cause them all to deviate. He was expecting his Lord to say, oh, no, I can't. I got to teach you something. His Lord told him that's the right way with me. Go to it. Now you see why that song, Sympathy for the Devil. You notice the song? Sympathy for the Devil? Yeah. When you have sympathy for someone, it means you feel sorry for them. Huh? Yeah. And in the end, if you listen real close, he starts saying, you're to blame. You're to blame. Yes. Yes, we was to blame. That's why we allowed, we should have been the ones to to get the worst of what he did, because we the only ones that could stand it. He came out of us, and then we made him to help bring the supreme being out of us. And for that, we had to go into labor. You want to produce a baby, well, you know you got to go through some pain. Huh? Okay, well, we went through some pain and some labor, and now the Son of Man is here. And after the woman give birth to once the baby comes, they no more remember the pain for joy that a man is born into the world. Huh? See? Well, wasn't 400 years of slavery worth getting me here? Now that you finding out what I can do for you? Well, all right then. Now let's go a little further. He said, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. That's right. And it says, and they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. The word of God is my name. And I'm putting my name in your forehead. And it says, and there shall be no night there. Huh? Why? Because it's not called the Sabbath night. It's called the Sabbath day. What you do in the daytime? We made the day for seeking livelihood. Then we got to build a new world. We ain't got no time to be sitting down talking about let's rest. We done rested for 6,000 years. It's time to get busy now. Huh? All right then. And they need no candle, neither light of the sun. No, we don't need, like the man asked, Lucifer was the son of the morning, you know. And we don't need no more knowledge from him now. All our creativity, all our creative mind, and all of that is being awakened in us now. And we don't have to go to his school to learn how to do for ourselves. The things that we're going to be doing and the things that we already have suffered to learn is sufficient. If it wasn't, we would have said we needed more than 400 years. We didn't need no more than 400 years. It's time to get up now. So it says, for the, and by the way, what you think you got in your hand now? That's the sun. That's the sun folded up. But without me, it didn't do you no good. You don't have no need of that. You have need of me. Do you understand? Then it says, for the Lord God giveth them light of understanding, and they shall reign forever and ever. As the messenger said, the earth belonged to you. It didn't belong to you, but now you're the true owner. Israel taking it away from you. Come on. I want to give it back to you. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. In other words, it's prophecy. And the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angel to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. You notice, all of them had one who revealed to them, and they called him Gabriel, didn't they? Well, and Gabriel means the man of God, and all of them, the man of God is the one that couldn't come until the Sabbath day, but his spirit, that showed up first. Do you understand? The spirit of the Lord is upon me. But when I breathed into him of my spirit, then you fall down and make obeisance to him. Huh? So they were hosts to the Spirit. They carried the Spirit. But I am the Spirit. Do you understand? All right. Then it says, behold, I come quickly. Let's see here. How fast do light travel? I come quickly. It says, blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. Blessed are those who kept oil in their lamps. Yeah, who keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. When you familiarize yourself with it, you remember I told y'all to just read ahead, familiarize yourself with the book. Don't try to understand it, just familiarize yourself with it. And that way, when I start teaching on it, you will say, oh, that's what that meant. Yeah. You see? Then it says, and I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which showed me these things. Then he said unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. Worship the one that the word gonna be with when he get it. Let all the angels of God, and when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the angels of God worship him. Is that what it said? Well, now, all right then. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is what? When the Sabbath day show up, when the Son of Man show up, the time is at hand, and it's time to loose the seal. Huh? Ain't no time to seal it up no more, time to understand it. Because the one who was told to go and eat it and speak with it and warn them and give them warning directly from me. That's what he said. What have I been doing? All right. It says, he that is unjust, and who is more unjust than he who forges a lie against Allah? Says revelation have been granted to him when nothing have been granted to him. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. That's all of you lying preachers out there. All you wolves walking around here, false prophets, false preachers, dressed up in sheep's clothing, pretending and quoting scriptures from the true prophets, and then adding your no good additions of understanding to it, and offering up religions that the prophets ain't know nothing about. You ain't heard no prophet in the Bible calling his religion no Baptist, Methodist, Episcopal, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness. Even Moses never called himself Jehovah's Witness. Huh? Now here you come. Lying. All your religions are nothing but a bunch of pile of filthy rags. And everybody who put them on, it don't clean them up. They just filthy in it. Preacher stand up there, call himself preaching, got a pack of cigarettes up there in his pocket. What a role model is he? Do you know how big a fool you got to be for somebody to tell you the Surgeon General has determined that cigarettes will kill you, fool? And there you go. And you stand up there talking about God is with you. I remember when they used to just have on the side of the pack, the Surgeon General has determined that cigarettes can be or may be hazardous to your health. That's much as warning as we get you. And then everybody else, well, they ain't sure. So they keep smoking. I remember when cigarettes was 25 cents a pack. And when it went up to 50 cents, people said, I ain't gonna pay no 50 cents for no cigarette. Lying. Because now it's 10 times 50 cents and they still buying them. So it says, he that's unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, over in the book of Isaiah, it tell you what filthy means. And in the Holy Quran, I just quoted what the Quran say about unjust. It says, who is more unjust than he who forges a lie against Allah? So in the 64th chapter of Isaiah, it says in the 6th verse, it says, but we are all as an unclean thing. What is a noun? Okay. A person, place, or thing. Then your mind is a noun, ain't it? It's a thing, isn't it? Okay. And we are all as an unclean thing. Duh. As a man thinketh. You know all them unclean thoughts you have? All them hateful and unclean thoughts, they make you unclean. I mean, if you got a cup full of urine, what do that say about the cup? The cup is unclean. Because of what? And if you want your mind to be clean, you better get your behind in these classes and let me teach you. And empty all that garbage out of there. Because that's all it is, garbage. Then it says, but we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousnesses are as what? Filthy rags. What kind of rags? What kind? Filthy. And he that's filthy, let him stay that way. Huh? And he that is righteous, let him be what? And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Is that right? And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is where? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was what? That's my reward. The Word. Son of man, take it and eat it up. So it'll always be with you. And my reward is with me. To give every man according to what? According as his work shall be. And they which doeth truth cometh to the light, that their deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God, that they are given to them to do by God. Then it says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And then listen at what the prophet said. Blessed are they that do his commandments. I tell you what. Look what happened to you when you started obeying me. Look what you got now. Think about all of the people who started and quit. But you started and you still here. And you steady being commanded to do things that's bringing you more and more success. And who telling you to do those things? All right then. And it said, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without, or what? Now, what do the people call each other now? What's up, dog? Huh? Okay, there it is. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers, pimps, and murderers. What you just saw happen in California? Murder? Yeah. Every time you look up, somebody you just saw a murderer in what was that? Pennsylvania? Now in Florida? On the outside are what? Murderers? Then it says, and idolaters. People who worship the works of their own hands. What is the watchtower in a wake? I ain't talking about this published by the Watchtower Society. Who is that? And there you there falling down, worshiping that little book that they give you. Okay. It says, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh up a what? A lie. Look at all them people that flock to hear Donald Trump speak. It ain't that they don't know he lying. They there because they know he lying, and they borrowing some of his lies to justify their wicked actions. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, don't say I didn't tell you. Let's look at a little more news here.
And the fight to count all the votes in Florida.
Let's count every vote and let's bring it home.
A brand new vote count in Arizona, and Stacey Abrams' campaign manager on her fight to force a runoff.
We believe our chance for a stronger Georgia is just within reach.
When All In starts right now.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Tonight, there is palpable panic and feral desperation emanating from the President of the United States, from his enablers in the Republican Party as well. In a possible dry run for 2020, Trump and his allies are now making unhinged claims of electoral fraud despite a total lack of evidence. His effort to short-circuit the vote counting in Florida, Arizona, and Georgia seems to be a rearguard attempt to thwart possible Democratic victories in the wake of a mid.
Now, I want you to listen to this, and I want you to remember what inciting means. It's against the law for you to incite people to go out and riot. What is he trying to do? Inciting people to turn against the electoral process? If you turn people against the electoral process, you are trying to do away with the democratic system. The last thing a president of the United States is supposed to do is to put a question in the minds of the citizens of America that their electoral process is corrupted. Even if it was corrupted, you don't get out and tell the public. You tell the Justice Department, hey, investigate this stuff and get it straight. But see, he don't care nothing about this country. And everybody who's supporting him don't care. I told you I've been to this rodeo before. I know treason when I see it. I know when people trying to tear up something rather than hold it together. I saw it in the Nation of Islam. People who were in positions of authority, just somehow they got in there, and you don't know where these people came from. Next thing you know, he's a lieutenant. He's a minister. He's this, he's that. And they tore it up from within. The messenger saw it, and he told us that that was going to happen. And so I couldn't get too angry about it, because after I matured in my understanding, I realized that you can't stop prophecy. It's kind of like when how many of y'all saw Terminator? Terminator, the Rise of the Machines. You remember at the end, it finally came out that you wasn't supposed to stop Judgment Day. That you couldn't do that. His mission was to make sure you survived it. Do you understand? Right. I couldn't stop the fall of the Nation of Islam. I had to survive that. That's all. That's all. The messenger was here to make sure I survived and would be given the proper guidance that would set me on the proper road to rebuilding and never fall again. Do you understand? You see? So I understand now. That's why I don't, he said he needed both. He said, I'm looking for both a wrecker and a builder. Well, W.D. Muhammad was the wrecker. I'm the builder. And if he hadn't wrecked that, then it would have still been in my way. I couldn't build nothing. He had to first. It's just like when you get ready to lay a foundation, you use a lot of material that is not going to even be part of the building. It's just there for you to shape the foundation. And once the foundation is poured and set, that concrete set and whatnot, then they come and wreck that foundation, that farm that they put there. Once they get that farm out the way, then ain't nothing left but the foundation. All that stuff was taken away. And so now I can start building on the foundation. The truth that the messenger taught, that's still here. It's with me now. He capsulized it all in a series of lectures called Theology of Time. And in his last sermon, as he told me, he said, now you're on the road to independence. He said, once you lay hold to that handle that will not break off with you, you must keep it. What? Keep what? Keep the commandments of Allah. Keep the Holy Scriptures. He even said, if you want to talk to Allah, he didn't say go find Master Farad Muhammad. He said, read the Quran, read the Scriptures. And now I read the Scriptures, and they tell me everything I need to know. What to do? Tells me about you. Tells me about everything. It's all in there. And Allah told me, he said, seek and you shall find. You see how I go in there and find the answer to everything? Yeah. So let's listen to him talking about this lying man that's occupying the Oval Office.
Election that looks with each passing hour more and more like a Democratic blowout. Well, much more on the ongoing races later in the show, including the absolutely crazy situation developing in Florida And the increasingly good news for Democrats coming out of Arizona, where the lead for Democrat Kirsten Sinema has been growing. With his back against the wall, Trump's attempt to replace Jeff Sessions of the Justice Department with a lackey appears to be blowing up in his face. With each day bringing new and wildly damaging headlines, including the revelation the FBI is currently investigating the company where he was an advisory board member, momentum has been steadily building against acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker, with the backlash reportedly prompting concern at the White House. Conservative legal scholars calling Trump's appointment unconstitutional. Then there's today's huge news from the Wall Street Journal concerning this lie from the president.
Did you know about $130,000 payment and why do I like it?
No idea. Nothing to do with it. Nope. You got to ask him. Well, it appears that Trump didn't just know about the payment. It appears he directed it. And there is reportedly proof of that. A blockbuster report published today from the Journal reveals that Trump played a central role in the hush payoff to both Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. And crucially, that federal prosecutors have gathered evidence of the president's participation in transactions that violated campaign finance laws. Remember, one of the crimes that Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to in federal court was making those hush money payments in violation of federal campaign law. He said under oath in that court that the president himself directed those illegal payments. And now we know that prosecutors have evidence to back him up. And that crime, and that's what it was a crime, it's already been pleaded to guilty, it was material to the president's victory. In fact, crucially, it was one of two different criminal conspiracies designed to get President Trump elected. One involving Russia, which has resulted in at least 28 guilty pleas or indictments so far, and the one involving the hush money payoffs, in which the president is now directly implicated. With me now, one of the reporters who broke today's payoff news, Wall Street Journal reporter Rebecca Davis O'Brien, who covers white-collar law enforcement. Incredible reporting.
Thank you.
So, okay, how involved, according to your reporting, and according to the evidence your reporting suggests SDNY has, how involved was the president in the hush money payments?
Right, so as you mentioned, just to step back for a second, when Michael Cohen stands up in federal court and says he does something at the direction of the candidate, we all say, oh, that's Donald Trump. And we spent the last few weeks, months, trying to figure out what at the direction of Donald Trump looks like. As we've reported and people kind of widely know, Donald Trump is very careful with his money, so it wouldn't.
I think I'm going to read from George Washington's vision. I'm gonna read it kind of fast, but I think you will get the gist of it because those men were given vision, and they understood that they had a destiny. You don't get to rule the earth unless God helped you. Do you understand? Why do you think in the Pledge of Allegiance when we was growing up, they didn't forget to say under God? One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for how many? For all. They didn't live up to it, but at least they put it on paper and taught it to the children. Huh? Okay. Now listen to this. The father of our country, George Washington, was a man of prayer. Many of us have read of how he went to the thicket many times to pray during the winter his army was at Valley Forge. However, little publicity has been given to the vision and prophecy he received at that time. The account of his vision was given in 1859 by an old soldier. He gave it to a writer, Wesley Bradshaw, who published it. In the vision, God revealed to George Washington that 3 great perils would come upon the Republic. He was given to know that America was going through the first peril at that time. The old soldier who told the story of the vision said the nation would soon see the account verified by the second peril descending upon the land. We give the account here as printed in the U.S. War Veterans paper, the National Tribune, in December 1880. The National Tribune became the Stars and Stripes, and this article was later reprinted in that publication. I do not know whether it is owing to the anxiety of my mind. Now they into the vision now. He said, I do not know whether it is owing to the anxiety of my mind or what. But this afternoon, as I was sitting at this table engaging in preparing a dispatch, something in the apartment seemed to disturb me. Looking up, I beheld standing opposite to me a singularly beautiful being. So astonished was I, for I had given strict orders not to be disturbed, that it was some moments before I found language to inquire the cause of the visit. A second, a third, and even a fourth time did I repeat my question, but received no answer from my mysterious visitor, except a slight raising of the eyes. By this time, I felt strange sensations spreading through me. I would have risen, but the riveted gaze of the being before me rendered movement, impossible. I tried once more to speak, but my tongue became useless, as if paralyzed. A new influence, mysterious, potent, irresistible, took possession of me. All I could do was to gaze steadily, vacantly at my unknown visitor. Gradually, the surrounding atmosphere seemed to fill with sensations and grew luminous. Everything about me seemed to rarefy the mysterious visitor, also becoming more airy and yet more distinct to my sight than before. I began to feel as one dying, or rather to experience the sensations I sometimes imagine accompanying death. I did not think. I did not reason. I did not move. All were alike impossible. I was only conscious of gazing fixedly, vacantly on my companion. Presently, I heard a voice say, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." While at the same time my visitor extended an arm eastward, I now beheld a heavy white vapor at some distance rising fold upon fold. This gradually dissipated, and I looked upon the strange scene before me. Lay out in one vast plain all the countries of the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. I saw rolling and tossing between Europe and America lay billows of the Atlantic, and between Asia and America lay the Pacific. Son of the Republic, said the same mysterious voice as before, look and learn. At that moment, I beheld a dark, shadowy being like an angel standing, or rather floating in midair between Europe and America, dipping water out of the ocean in the hollow of each hand. He sprinkled some upon America with his right hand, while with his left he cast some over Europe. Immediately a cloud arose from these countries and joined in mid-ocean. For a while, it remained stationary, and then it moved slowly westward until it enveloped America in its murky folds. Sharp flashes of lightning gleamed through at intervals, and I heard the smothered groans and cries of the American people. A second time, the angel dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it out as before. The dark cloud drew back to the ocean, in whose heaving billows it sank from view. A third time, I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." I cast my eyes upon America and beheld villages and towns and cities springing up, one right after another, until the whole land from the Atlantic to the Pacific was dotted with them. Again, I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, the end of the century cometh. Look and learn." And this time, a dark, shadowy angel turned his face southward from Africa. I saw an ill-omened spectre approach our land. It flitted slowly and heavily over every town and city of the latter. The inhabitants presently set themselves in battle array against each other. As I continued to look, I saw a bright angel on whose brow was traced the word Union. He was bearing the American flag. He placed the flag between the divided nation and said, "Remember, ye are brethren." You know that dark time was the period of slavery, fighting over the abolishment and wanting to keep the slaves, and also the Confederacy against the Union. Some wanted to break up the Union while others was trying to fight to preserve the Union. And they were brethren. Then it says, "Son of the Republic." Instantly the inhabitants, casting down their weapons, became friends once more and united around the national standard. Like Abraham Lincoln brought it back. Yeah. And it says, "Again, I heard a mysterious voice saying, 'Son of the Republic, look and learn.' At this, the dark, shadowy angel placed a trumpet to his mouth and blew 3 distinct blasts. And taking water from the ocean, he sprinkled it upon Europe, Asia, and Africa. Then my eyes beheld a fearful scene. From each of these continents arose thick black clouds, that were so soon joined into one. And throughout this mass there gleamed a dark red light, by which I saw hordes of armed men. I beheld a red horse, and he had power to take peace from the earth." Okay. So these men, moving with the cloud, marched by land and sailed by sea to America, which country was enveloped in the volume of the cloud. And I dimly saw these vast armies devastate the whole country and burn the villages, towns, and cities which I had seen spring up. As my ears listened to the thundering of the cannon, clashing of the swords, and shouts and cries of millions in mortal combat, I again heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." When the voice had ceased, the dark, shadowy angel placed his trumpet once more to his mouth and blew a long, fearful blast. Instantly, a light as of 1,000 suns shone down from above me and pierced and broke into fragments of the dark cloud which enveloped America. At the same moment, the angel upon whose head still shone the word Union and who bore our national flag in one hand and a sword in the other, descending from the heavens, attended by legions of white spirits. These immediately joined the inhabitants of America, who I perceived were well nigh overcome, but who immediately, taking courage again, closed up their broken ranks and renewed the fight, renewed the battle. Again, amid the fearful voice of the conflict, I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." As the voice ceased, the shadowy angel for the last time dipped the water from the ocean and sprinkled it upon America. Instantly, the dark clouds rolled back, together with the armies it had brought, leaving the inhabitants of the land victorious. Then once more I beheld the villages and towns and cities springing up where I had seen them before, while the bright angel planting the azure, the flag, standard cried, the azure's standard cried with a loud voice, while the stars remain and the heavens send down dew upon the earth, so long shall the union last. And taking from his brow the crown, which blazoned the word union, he placed it down upon the standard, while the people, kneeling down, said, Amen. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve, and I at last saw nothing but the rising, curling vapor I at first beheld. It says, this also disappeared, and I found myself once more gazing upon the mysterious visitor, who in the same voice I heard before said, Son of the Republic, what you have seen is thus interpreted. 3 great perils will come upon the Republic. The most fearful for her is the third. But the whole world united shall not prevail against her. Let every child of the Republic learn to live for his God, his land, and union. Remember how the Constitution started off? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a what? A more complete union. If God made all nations of men from one blood, well, then men should be united as one human family. But anyway, it says, with these words, the vision vanished, and I started from my seat and felt that I had seen a vision wherein had been showed to me the birth, the progress, and destiny of the United States. Now that you can always tell where Allah is present. Wherever Allah is present, so is unity. You see. So I want you to, pay attention. Look, here the man who is occupying the office of president is from the office of president, the highest office of the land, openly trying to undermine the very process that put him in office. And he got lots of help. I remember the messenger was talking once, and he said, we're not trying to overthrow the government, just your ignorance. Now, if truth will overthrow your government, then you can consider it done. Anything that's not rooted in truth cannot last in the universe, because the heaven and the earth was created with truth. And whatever you do, I don't care how much you do based on lies, it was doomed to be uprooted because it had no roots. It was doomed to fall over by its own weight. The weight of your lies is what's destroying you. You notice the man played his own words. I know him personally. I don't know him personally. It just every lie he tells now finds him out. You can't remember the lies that you told. The brain was not designed to be unlike the earth. Everything that the earth has on it, vegetation and whatnot, all of these things, they have roots in the earth to help stabilize them. Every truth that you have, everything that you have in your mind of truth has roots that stabilize it there. A lie has no stability. Do you understand? It's like those little weeds that grow up real quick. They don't have any depth of roots, and so they wither real quick. And you may remember a lie that you told for a week or so, if you made it up and took your time and learned it. But give you 2 or 3 months, if it don't come back up, you don't forget that lie. It died quick. Why? Because it has no real stability. It has nothing to stabilize it in your mind because it was a lie. It's not connected to anything else. Do you understand? Okay.
Be totally surprising if he was aware of how money was directed.
These are six-figure sums, and the idea that checks are just being written and Donald Trump, who is notoriously stingy, is just whatever.
Right. So our thinking was, how can we figure out what exactly that meant, that when Michael Cohen said that in court. And it looks like from the very early stages of his campaign, Mr. Trump was concerned about, he and his advisors were concerned about potential women coming forward, and he reached out to his friend David Pecker in August 2015, and the rest, as we outline in our story, is history.
Well, what you outline in the story is that beginning with a meeting with David Pecker saying, "What can you do for me?" he was at the center of the efforts to direct hush money to keep women quiet.
Well, we say that he was aware of or a direct participant in and briefed on all these various arrangements as they came together.
Well, let me ask you this. What evidence, according to reporting, does the Southern District of New York, which has a case against Michael Cohen, he's pleaded guilty, what evidence do they have of this?
Well, we don't know all the evidence, but our article includes one detail, which is even before Michael Cohen pleaded guilty, they had what was at one point at least an 80-page draft indictment that included more information about what Mr. Trump was what his role was. We know that going into that guilty plea, they had that tape in which Michael Cohen and Donald Trump were just discussing the payments or buying the Karen McDougal story. And since the plea, Michael Cohen, as we report, has been speaking to them and presumably opening up a little bit more, as we reported, telling a little bit more about the background of those payments.
Let me just play to remind people about that the tape, because the interaction shows like they're talking about this. Take a listen to the tape.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up with to me, and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up when it comes time for the financing, which will be easier. What financing? We'll have to pay me. So, no. I got no.
All right, so that's a discussion. Final point here, and I just think it's important for legal purposes. When Michael Cohen, one of the things he pleaded guilty to in federal court was a criminal violation of campaign finance law, because that was an illegal donation essentially made to the Trump campaign, correct?
Yeah, it's an in-kind campaign contribution.
Right, and so potentially, if Donald Trump weren't the president of the United States, he were the campaign manager and told Michael Cohen to do that, there's potential legal liability for the person that instructed a person to make an illegal donation.
Right, and I think even if Donald Trump weren't president, right, there's a question of state of mind, and not the legal.
This is the history just repeating itself. Crooks making tapes of what they're doing to make sure that the other one, if he tried to pull something on him, he got something on him. Do you understand? I mean, that's how they protect themselves. They know they ain't trustworthy. Ain't none of them trustworthy. He wouldn't be a crook if he was trustworthy. There's no such thing as honor among thieves. Wolves, you watch wolves. They hunt together. But there's one who's going to eat first and all that, and the rest will get the scrap. Unless you're powerful enough to take him out. So they're always looking for weakness so they can pounce on each other and become the big shot. But so, there's no honor there. So you got to protect yourself. Look, if something happened to me, this going to the people. This going to the law. And I ain't going down by myself. So they all get something on each other. Yeah. Because all of them know they ain't about nothing. They ain't no friends. Remember they was out there, Michael Cohen talking about he'd take a bullet for Donald Trump and all that kind of stuff. And now what? Trump was praising him too, wasn't he? Dude, them people ain't loyal to nobody. It's all about what can I get? What's in it for me? That's what the bottom line is. Lying to each other. Yeah, man, I'll do whatever for you. Yeah, man, look, if you know Peter, you remember Peter? What did he tell Jesus? And he said, I'll die for you, Lord. Ain't that what he told him? And Jesus got tired of it. And Jesus said, before the cock crow, you're going to be done denied me 3 times, man. Huh? It's just like, you got people out there. I'll show you a good example. Another example. Minister Farrakhan, you heard him say that the messenger told him that he's very well known, all right, so that when he turns hypocrite on me, the whole world will see him, right? Now, you notice, if you all ask, you meet strangers sometime, and you'll be trying to tell them about me, and they will say, is he with Minister Farrakhan? They ain't even with Minister Farrakhan. But they know him, don't they? And if you said, no, but you need to listen, or whatever, then people don't call in and listen. Because they don't mind listening to Minister Farrakhan because they ain't got to change. Even when he had them at that Million Man March, what did he tell them to do? He said, just go back and join with something. He didn't invite them to be Muslims. He didn't invite them and tell them, hey, man, you got to give up all that wrong you're doing out there. If they start talking like that, they ain't going to want to hear it. He tell me how to live my life. Right? You see, but there's no such thing as a Muslim that don't invite you to be one too. What do I look like telling you it's okay if you don't be a Muslim? That would tell you I ain't one. Huh? Hey, you got Roy out there telling people that God, that, you know, you ain't got to be no Muslim. Let me see here. I got that boy here. That man done lost his mind. I'm gonna show you. Boy, you got some way out stuff going on out there in the street. Just a moment. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna show you this stuff. You need to see it.
It's the story of God. You know, many white folks who feel that he's a God also. And if you try to stop him from what he's doing, you better be the real God. So that's what happened so far up until now. In other words, he has got or had 3 weeks to invite me.
Just a moment. I'm not going to make you sit through this whole thing here. Just a minute. I think this is right here.
So he backs up off of me, you leave me alone. Lewis, I should have done the same thing. I want to see you.
This is Caucasian people. How are they supposed to relate to this? You know, when they find out.
The black man's going to be living in the back of white people. Because they know how things work. And they know that we'll be seen. You know, they may go up against some other country or some other person. Just the black man is ignorant. They'll come up against him. But there needs to be a lot. They put on a break. And what I've shared some things that only I could share. And he knows this. So he backs up off of me. You leave me alone. Lewis, I shared with him the same thing. I want to see you. It will come. As far as us being Muslims, that's like the beginning of it. But to be with me, to be with us, the hierarchy, you can't be a Muslim. If you are not black, you can be a Muslim. If you are an original man, you can't be no Muslim.
Do you hear that? He said to be with him, you can't be no Muslim. Well, that's the truth. You see, I mean, everybody that's followed him, if they claim they believed in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what was that their cue to do? Get up and get out of there, huh? Okay. Now you heard him. Let's play that back again.
Muslims, that's like the beginning of it. But to be with me, to be with us, the hierarchy, you can't be a Muslim. If you're not black, you can be a Muslim. If you are an original man, you can't be no Muslim. You're the creator. You just is. You're the base of everything that lives. And you're the master of it.
The messenger told him and everybody that was in the nation that God himself is a Muslim. And if you understand what Muslim means, you know it means one who submits to do God's will. So how in the world how in the world are you going to tell me that you believe that God is God, but God don't submit to his own will? If he give his word, he got to keep his word. Do you understand? He submits to his own will and demands that everybody else do the same. But you see, this man, Roy, this is what the messenger said about people like him. I'll let you see it yourself. You see, he knew people like him was out there. Here it is.
You can't get help from your enemy mind. His help was cut off before the appearance of Allah. Allah cut his help off so that he could put you at his servant's mercy. It is not that Allah, God will stay among us in person when you need not one. Just like himself having the same idea.
And that's why the book talks about Michael, because the name Michael means who is like God. And I looked in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. And Michael and his angels fought, and the devil fought, and Michael and them overcome them. Remember that? That's in Revelation. So, you know, this is all prophecy. And now I'm doing it. Now listen to the messenger tell you about people like Roy.
I don't want to see one of you lose your life. But you are acting death when you're trying to bring the work of God with me to an oath. You're inviting death. I was so shaken when I was told what you were trying to do in the East. Where that I'm preparing a way for the whole nation. You want to prepare a way for yourself alone. So leave us alone, brother. If you don't like us, just leave us alone. I'm the last man to take an attempt to pull you out of the power of the white man and put you in the power of I'm the last. There's no other one coming. The other that will come, they're coming to destroy you for not listening to what I'm teaching. Other that will come, they're coming to destroy you for not listening to what I'm teaching.
Now you heard Roy sitting up there talking about you ain't got to be no Muslim. Just the opposite of what the messenger said, right? They coming to destroy you for not listening to what I'm teaching you. What Roy doing? Yeah, leading them to where he going. When the blind lead the blind, what's happening? They all get destroyed together. Yeah. So I want you to be safe. And if you stay behind me, that's what you will be. you'll be safe. Because Allah have made me the place of safety. He said, say I seek refuge in the Lord of men, the King of men, the God of men. That's right. The men is the messengers of God, the prophets, the messengers. The Lord of them is me. How did I get to be that? I ate up all of the book. So I'm of what's in me, like a cup. It's of what's in it. And so I'm the Lord of the men, the King of the men, the God of the men. Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself. And let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. For he shall be for a what? A sanctuary. So, if you want to be safe, get behind me and stay there. Trust in me, like you were told to do by them who I'm the Lord of. So, now, anybody got something they want to question me about? We got about 10 more minutes. That's a long time for me. You'd be surprised what I can share with you in 10 minutes if you got a question. Okay. I can speed things up and I can slow things down. Do you like the man on Babylon 5? Get you stuck between tick and tock. They had a song say, time is on my side. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Time is on my side. It said, remember the Sabbath day. Has to keep it holy. You notice? That's all I teach you out of the Holy Scriptures. Is that right? All right. You hear anybody arguing? Well, what did I tell you? I must be teaching right. If I was teaching wrong, when they thought I was teaching wrong, people used to be, I ain't never forgot that lady that told me when I was on the air up there in Natchez. This is a black woman. And she said, you going to hell with your eyes wide open. That's what she told me. She's upset because I was teaching the truth about white people. And I told her, I said, well, if I got to go to hell, that's the way to go. Is sure don't want to go there with your eyes closed. So you know, I know she feel kind of silly now, you know, because, you know, I mean, I'd feel pretty silly to find a man teaching something that I was so adamantly against him for, just later on to find out that the very people that you got mad at me about, you got mad at me for telling you that the white man is the devil, and now the white man done agreed with me. That, I mean, what is your problem? How that make you feel? He ain't got nothing to be ashamed of for being the devil. He didn't make himself. If I was the devil, I sure wouldn't be ashamed. I'd tell you to take it up with the one who made me. Get out of my face. Huh? Well, I'm the one that made him. I'm from that circle. And I'm here to remake him if he want to be remade. I'm here to take that curse off of him. That was the promise that was made him. It said, on you is a curse till the day of judgment. Well, you're in the day of judgment now, the day of truth. And now I'm explaining to you why we made the devil and why we needed him to do what he did. And now we don't need that no more. So now everybody got to change. Even though everybody ain't been asleep. Everybody ain't been asleep. Everybody ain't been dead. But as the book says, we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Even Satan himself is to be transformed into an angel of light. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye what? Transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now you got a great opportunity here standing in front of you in myself. You better take advantage of it while it's being offered to you. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to beg you to straighten yourself up. By now, you ought to be tired of being the devil. Look what it's doing to you. Okay. So I offered. If you turn it down, well, c'est la vie. So it's late, and I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna let you go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead. And but I do wish the best for all of you, because I too was once like you, in the same frame of mind, running around here thinking I needed a gun and all that kind of stuff. You know, doing things I ain't had no business. So I understand that. But when I heard the truth, I put that stuff down. Now you hearing the truth. If I could put it down, so could you. I mean, why be wrong knowingly when you could be right? You don't have such a happy world. You don't have such a peaceful world. You ain't got none of that. What you trying to hold on to it for? I would think you'd be glad to give it up. All right. And may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. And, you know, look around you. There's a lot of evil, but there's a lot of good that could be saved and need to be salvaged. This civilization is worth saving, which means that you are worth saving. If you wasn't, I wouldn't have been put here. The Son of Man came to seek and to save that which was lost. I didn't assume you was raising your hand. That's why. Were you?
Yeah, because what you said was something was put on my mind. What you was talking about was what Geno Jennings was talking about when he came in with it.
What I was talking about?
Yes, sir. Said that God created himself. Talked about that.
Geno Jennings don't know nothing about nothing.
He talked about what God had when you said that.
Geno Jennings, he didn't even discuss God creating himself with me. When we was supposed to talk about that, he changed the subject. He said, well, we've covered that subject enough. I think we need to go into this thing about the white man being the devil. He didn't want to discuss that with me because I had made the mistake the day before of taking him into Isaiah, where it says that before me there was no God formed. And he didn't want to talk about that because he didn't know what he was talking about. He's a fool and a liar. So, these people. Some of y'all get that liar in here. I don't care what whenever he come, I'll accept it. Let him come on in here. I'll even let him be the host. I'll let him host it and tell me when I can talk. I know what to do for people like him. Take all their excuses away. That's what I'm doing when I tell people that I let them host it. Because the first thing out their mouth is, well, he ain't going to let nobody talk. No, you going to tell me when I can talk. Now, you come on in here. I got something for you. I didn't just start offering $20,000. That offer was out there when I was visiting him last. Did he ever ask me for the money? Well, then, what did that tell you? Because I said, if you find me telling a lie. All right, then. Just because you don't believe something, that don't mean it's a lie. Prove it. And if you live 50,000 years, you ain't going to prove nothing I'm saying to be a lie. Nah. Okay. May Allah's Salam Alaikum.
Your conference recording has stopped. Goodbye.